this was the worst title run in the history of All Elite Wrestling. You could not have dropped the ball worse than they did with Private Party. So, no, I was happy Hurt Business won because they should be champions, but goddamn, this was like every problem with AEW all wrapped up in one single segment. It was incredible.
Tell them that they're paid by a con.
I watched a TNA pay-per-view for the first time since I quit when we were watching the old Asylum days.
Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard.
Okay. So they made the decision to bring back Tessa Blanchard, and it was a very controversial decision. This crowd hated, absolutely hated Tessa Blanchard. And there were fuck you Tessa chants. There were she's a racist chants. You know, people don't chant she's a racist when they like you. You know, that's actual, like, go away heat.
They rarely chant it when they don't like you.
Yeah.
That's a new one. I think that's the first I've heard. Other than that, bell to bell, awesome match.
Yes, the wrestling was great.
The actual wrestling was probably the best wrestling on the show.
So Santana and Ortiz were a team in AEW. They had a lot of issues. You know, Santana, he wanted to split, and he felt he could be a big-time single star. And a lot of people there, you know, they watched the tag team, and it was a good tag team, but, you know, it was always like, Santana's just, he's just there. He's just kind of a guy. And they didn't get it. And he has now come to TNA, and let me tell you, this fucking guy's a star. This guy was so over with this crowd. They went fucking crazy for this guy. And Josh Alexander says, tonight I quit, and tonight I also quit TNA. So, we'll see where he ends up.
These Hardys, my goodness. It's 2025.
They're super over.
They got the biggest reaction on the show. It's not just nostalgia where you come out and they get a huge pop and they start to wrestle and nobody cares. They were in everything the Hardys did. And then John Layfield shows up, beloved. And he, of course, grabs Kazarian, has a clothesline from hell, lays him out. He doesn't help Nick win directly. He makes sure the match is clean. Fairness, very important now to John Layfield in 2025.
That's good.
And he's standing ovations this dude, and he wins. Joe Hendry, your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
They had a good match. Very good main event. I have not watched any of the GCW show, but PCO showed up.
Yes.
With his TNA digital title.
Yes.
And he destroyed it, or he attempted to destroy it with a sledgehammer.
Apparently quit the company and smashed their belt with a hammer.
I ordered a new desk, and it should come Thursday. So guess what, Brian? You're going to put it together for me.
That's a terrible idea, Granny.
Film this, Granny.
I realize I have a gimmick here on this show, okay? But last Thursday, I went to volunteer at Paisley School, and they want me to build the, you know those igloos that they used to have when you were a kid? It's like they're the monkey bars, but they're in the side. They're an igloo.
Sure.
And you know what? Damn it, I did it. I did it. I even got a picture. I'll even show you the picture. Okay, now look at the picture, everybody. Look at the picture.
No,
oh, there's a missing.
Nothing at all like what you
There's a missing bolt. Oh, it's exactly the same.
No, it's not the missing bolt, Brian.
Yes. The next time I watch Dog, I'm going to go in that room and I'm going to film kids going down that thing to show you
that won't be creepy.
A, I did it right, and B, it didn't fall apart. Ridiculous.
That made me laugh. All right, go ahead.
I've got Kevin versus Mysterio.
Kevin who? Oh, Kevin Owens, SmackDown, yes.
Von Erich.
Would you shut up?
Kevin Hart.
In corner, face down, drop by Kevin.
In
Arm.
corner, face down, drop.
You just drew names words out of a hat, didn't you?
Okay.
This is some kind of abstract beat poetry.
Yes. The more I see this Boyd Pierce, the more I get it now. And he's such a friendly guy. He's just a comfortable sort of chap. You have a bad day, you turn on Boyd Pierce, you just feel better. No?
Get that drop.
And Osprey starts to fire back, but the giant floating head of Don Callis appears in the video screen. The entrance screen has a very wide aspect ratio. So Don's head is just like from the eyebrows to the lower lip. It looked very evil. He's got all his promos this way, this ultra close-up like this. Kenny climbs this thing, and Osprey climbs to the balcony. They did the stereo moonsaults from, 12, 15 feet up in the air. They were very, very high. We saw Ospreys. We saw like a flash of Kenny going across the screen and he disappeared.
Dude, the fuck? They missed this shot, which I wasn't even, like, I was frustrated because it's like, how the fuck do you miss this? Like, there's a guy on a lighting rig and on a balcony. What the fuck are you doing? Like, how do you miss this? What do you think's going to happen?
He's not going sideways. He's not going up.
Jiminy,
there's only one direction you
fucking
can go from
Christmas. Okay, but you missed it. Fine. Show me the goddamn replay. Nope. No replay. They just, and there wasn't like anything else. It wasn't like they couldn't show a replay because something cooler was happening. No. And then finally they climb up and they celebrate. Steam was building and building and building. Thank God they finally showed it an hour in. But let's get on the ball here, okay? Cool shit happens, show a replay.
Hurt Syndicate versus Private Party for the tag team titles. Lastly, it's a standing ovation and a spear to win the tag team titles. I thought this match was incredible. In 10 minutes, they looked like the scariest tag team I've ever seen in my life. I may never forget that match. That was awesome.
Bro, this match here was everything wrong with AEW right now.
Really?
Everything.
Really?
As much as I think the Hurt Business is great, it is two older guys who walked in from WWE and destroyed a team that has been here for 5 years that is like, in theory, one of the backbones of AEW. In reality, they are not. This is the exact same thing that happened with Tony Storm. All people wanted was to cheer Tony, but they had to make her a heel for reasons unknown, and you murdered the majority of the women's division doing this. Well, what do we have right now? We have these heels that nobody is going to boo, and they're just going to run roughshod over these babyface teams, all of whom are going to get booed. It's the same thing. This was the worst title run in the history of All Elite Wrestling. You could not have dropped the ball worse than they did with Private Party. So, no, I was happy Hurt Business won because they should be champions, but goddamn, this was like every problem with AEW all wrapped up in one single segment. It was incredible.
Main event, Cope versus Pac.
This match had astoundingly little heat for a long time.
And then we go to the big screen where there's a bunch of stuff happening. We see Cash tied up. Somebody hits a chair shot, and I thought, okay, they've taken out Dax Harwood with a chair shot. No, it's the Rock and Roll Express. Huh? We're 2 hours in. You had Ricky and Robert there. You never mentioned them. You couldn't have given 30 seconds to bring them out in front of the crowd and wave and say hi. Right, Tennessee wrestling legends, everyone, the Rock and Rolls. No. Out of nowhere, the Rock and Roll Express are tied up backstage and beaten with chairs.
Well, I think we saw them a couple of weeks ago. And then
That's my point.
Excalibur said they've been doing some marketing for us. So that's why they were there.
So yes, this could have been done a whole hell of a lot better. This reminded me of that one episode of Impact when Vince Russo miscounted the weeks and they just did 2 weeks of TV in 1 week.
Yeah.
This felt like that often. It was more like 1.5 weeks in 1 week.
I thought this was a normal NXT.
Dude, stuff was rushed.
Nothing made me that mad here.
Corey Graves is back. They make a big production of how he's there. It's where he wants to be. This led to an absolute disaster of a commentary booth. 3 dudes fighting constantly, taking their voices on camera for 2 hours. I don't think there was a second of dead air in this entire broadcast.
There were 4 women in the ring. They were all wearing black tops and leather pants. Yeah. Every single one of them. The fans absolutely, positively did not want to hear another Roxanne Perez promo.
Yeah.
And they booed these two out of the building.
The crowd was great.
The
crowd was great.
Furious.
Then we go backstage. Jada Parker and Kalani Jordan are bickering, and Carmen Petrovin tries to make peace. Kalani is bickering with Zara and Soul, and Carmen and Jada are talking about that one guy and kisses and Nikita, and I'm frantically trying to type quick enough to keep up with them when we go back to the ring, and I shout at the top of my lungs, "Oh Christ, God damn it!" Eddie Thorpe versus Obafemi.
I actually expected a significantly better match because Eddie Thorpe has been all over the place, and Obafemi has had significantly better matches with people far worse than Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue was nobody thought Eddie had any chance whatsoever of winning.
That did not help.
And so you're not going to have the heat. You're not going to have people getting into the near falls. It was fine, but that was it.